My name is Keith Bodnarchuk. I am the President and CEO of Cosa Resources. We are a uranium exploration company with assets in the Athabasca Basin in northern Saskatchewan. We are a new story, like she mentioned, but we are led by a team with a track record of discoveries in the Athabasca Basin. Myself, geology background, spent 10 years at Denison Mines working on the Griffin and Phoenix discoveries. Moved over to ISO Energy, where I led corporate development before ultimately moving on and starting Cosa. Disclaimer, I encourage you to check it out on our website. So what do these three companies have in common? They're actually three companies that managed to make a discovery in the past 15 years in the Athabasca Basin during a bear market. What they also have in common is that our team played a significant role during the discovery phase for these companies. And what I mean by that is really we've had our fingerprints on a lot of discoveries in the Athabasca Basin in the past 15 years. Zoning in on that, it really starts at the top with our chairman, Steve Blower. He really has an unmatched track record of discovery in the Athabasca Basin. He's the VP of Exploration at Denison Mines when they discovered the Griffin Zone and also expanded Phoenix. He moved on, became the VP of Exploration of ISO Energy when they discovered Hurricane. He then helped 92 Energy as a director and technical advisor when they discovered the GMZ discovery. So really, an unmatched track record, I would say, as far as discovery. Craig Perry was a founding director of NextGen and also founding director and founding CEO of NextGen and ISO Energy, CEO during the discovery phase. Andy Carmichael, former VPX of ISO Energy, led them through their resource, which I'm sure Tim will talk about. And also Justin Rodko was part of the discovery team for ISO Energy and has come over on our team. So really a top-notch exploration team that's done it multiple times. So our assets, so we currently have just over 190,000 hectares, all located in the Athabasca Basin. They're all 100% owned. We've really built this land package through the end of 2023 and throughout 2023 and really even up to a week ago, we've been announcing transactions. And so why are we excited by this land package? So as Steve, our chairman, says, locally it's very difficult to find these deposits, but regionally there is a pattern to these. There's almost a string of pearls where you can measure down from McArthur River, down to Griffin, Phoenix, down to Key Lake. What we like to call these uranium corridors. So he said if we're going to build a land package to set ourselves up best for success, we're going to put ourselves within or adjacent to these corridors. And we started taking another closer look, and we started looking at the east side, which is home to all the current producing mines, a lot of infrastructure, but it's starting to be extensively explored. So where's that next elephant size or monster deposit going to be? Obviously, NextGen and Fission are on the west side controlling that district. So we thought to ourselves, we have to head deeper into the basin, to that next logical northeastern corridor, which is the Cable Bay Shear Zone, or our Ursa project. The Cable Bay Shear Zone is potentially the only remaining eastern corridor not yet to yield a major discovery. So our Ursa project takes up about 60 kilometers of that Cable Bay Shear Zone. So why hasn't there been a major discovery made there yet? Honestly, it hasn't been explored. It was explored last in the 80s and 90s, where they drilled about 15 holes, and then it was locked down by a major throughout the last uranium boom. So it sat relatively dormant. But what's interesting is in the 80s and 90s, obviously technology isn't what it is now, especially with geophysics. But those holes did manage to hit a little bit of uranium mineralization. It's 0.2% over 0.2 meters, which doesn't really jump off the page in the Athabasca Basin. That's sometimes how these monsters start to show themselves. When we were at ISO, that's, Hurricane, we're following up a trend with elevated radioactivity. Griffin, the same thing at Denison. So, that's a good sign. It shows it's a fertile trend. And really all it needed was modern exploration. So we went to work right away. We flew an airborne EM survey in August and, exceeded our expectations. We've mapped out, I'd say, 10 target areas. And we define these target areas by having conductivity in the sandstone in the basement, which would be, our interpretation would be could be an alteration halo above a structurally complex basement. So we're excited by those targets, and this is going to be a top priority for us in 2024. Another project we have is Orion, which falls within the Larock Lake trend or corridor, which continues on from the Hurricane Zone for ISO Energy. But interestingly enough, the Cigar Lake trend, east-west trend that goes past Orano's Close Lake also comes onto that project. So it's another one of those properties where it's been underexplored. It's along what we call these uranium corridors, and it's just really begging for modern exploration. We did manage to fly some airborne over the west end of it, And you can see by those red squiggles, there's an interesting looking target there that we plan on getting to here in the near future. Aurora. So this one we recently acquired in December. This one's right next to the Key Lake Mill, just 16 kilometers away. It's really a zone or corridor that's been upgraded by the GMZ discovery by 92 Energy, which has made this edge of the basin a lot more interesting. There is a whole bunch of room here. We acquired it for really good valuation. And looking at the historical hole, it does have those same ingredients that we look for, where they've hit alteration and structure and just a whole bunch of room to follow up. So we're excited to get out to this project too. So our plans for 2024, we are currently doing ground geophysics over Ursa. We're doing 80 kilometers of moving loop EM over top of 5 of the 10 target areas I talked about. And then we're going to be drilling in Q1. So we'll be mobilizing the drill pretty quickly. And we'll also continue to do target generation at Orion, Aurora, and our other projects. Ursa, does look the best to us at this point, but you got to remember that in exploration, you can't get married to the one project. You have to keep upgrading your pipeline and really just drill it and kill it until you make that discovery. There was that ISO where it was a 6th or 7th project where we ultimately found hurricanes. So we're always looking to upgrade the pipeline of projects in order to set ourselves up for success. Expanded drill program at Ursa in the summer, and then continued geophysics. Here's the capital structure. So we just have over 46 million shares outstanding. We finished the year with 5 million in cash. 24% are owned by management advisors. 21% would be mostly uranium funds. And so it is very tightly held. And you can see by our share price chart that as the uranium price has gone up and we've got more eyes on the story, it has responded accordingly. But we are still sitting at a 25 million valuation. Opportunity. So in the bottom left, you can see ISO Energy's share price chart from when they found the high-grade domain of their hurricane deposit. And that was not as strong of uranium environment as we're currently in. You saw it went from 40 cents to 650 pre-resource. You move over to the right chart, and that's the Athabasca Basin companies, the developers and explorers. The black or dark blue line is Athabasca Basin explorers that are under 30 million market cap. So it's actually gone down over the past year. So I think that's where the opportunity is going to be over the next little while to see massive returns as far as investments in the uranium space. Last time uranium was at $100 like it is now, those juniors are worth $100 million. So a company like ours sitting at 25 million, plus you add in that left chart of what can happen when you have exploration success. I think we're sitting in a very unique position with the team we have and their current valuation. So main takeaways, obviously, it's Cosa is a new story, and we are entering what seems to be the strongest uranium bull market we've ever seen. It's exciting for all these companies up here. I'd like to thank Gwen for inviting Cosa to be part of it. It's exciting to see what Tim's doing at the ISO Energy. ATHA and Nuclear Fuels are 2 new exciting stories. And obviously, Encore has been on an absolute tear, and deservedly so. And, for us, we're a team that's done it multiple times. It is the strongest uranium market we've ever seen. We have assets we like. The drill will be spinning in Q1, and we're getting back to doing what we do best. So I think it's a great opportunity to get in early on the story. Thank you.